Remember when Guardiola admitted that Liverpool was his dream club before he joined Manchester City? That was a missed opportunity, wasn't it? Yes, the €100 million price tag that the citizens paid last summer was too steep for the Reds. But imagine if we managed to get him first. He's young, strong, left-footed, and can play both centre-back and left-back. Just look at his performances in the latter stage of last season. He almost scored a hat-trick against Fulham. Now, why are we talking about a Manchester City player? Because he's clearly been a mistake letting such a talented defender join our rivals. Yes, it might sound ridiculous to spend such a fee on a defender, but the club was willing to pay something close to that when pursuing Levi Colwill last season. This summer, the Reds must not make a similar mistake, and despite Arsenal snatching Ricardo Calafiori away, there are still a number of defenders that the club should consider. That's why in today's video, we're bringing you a 5-man shortlist of left-footed defenders that the club should look to sign. But before we do get into today's deep dive, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Liverpool content. Before we dive into our list, let's explain why we believe signing a left-footed centre-back is a must and a priority. First, the club has no such player. Van Dijk, Konate, Kwanzaa, Gomez, and even Sepp van der Berg, who has impressed Slot so far, are all right-footed. Yes, it's true that the club has managed without a left-footed defender for a while, but with a change of management, the build-up and defending patterns might benefit from such profiles. Not only that, but as much as it hurts to say it, the club needs to start preparing for life after Virgil van Dijk, who has already turned 33. Don't get us wrong, the Dutch legend still has plenty to offer, but it would be unwise not to plan for the future and prepare for his eventual departure. So now we've cleared that up, let's jump into our list. Hincapie. So for our first player, we're suggesting Bayer Leverkusen's Hincapie. The Ecuadorian was sensational for Xabi Alonso's side last season, excelling as a left-sided centre-back or left wing-back. So what makes Hincapie so special? Well, it's safe to say that the young defender excels at both defending and attacking. He's tenacious without the ball and uses his aggressiveness to dispossess opponents, typical of a South American defender who gives everything to win possession back. Last season in the Bundesliga, Hincapie averaged 2.12 tackles per game with a tackle success rate of around 63%. However, his best skill isn't his defending, it's his excellent ball playing ability. Hincapie ranks in the top percentiles for passes attempted and completed, boasting a success rate of 91.1%, and that's not all. What truly sets Hincapie apart is his progressiveness. He averaged 6.19 progressive passes, 6 passes into the final third, and 0.55 passes into the penalty area over 90 minutes. He has the ability to break the opponent's lines with his passes from deep areas and can unlock tight defenses with his creativity. In fact, Hincapie averaged 0.28 key passes per game last season, ranking him second among all Bundesliga centre-backs in this metric. Need more proof? He averaged 1.21 shot creating actions per 90 minutes, demonstrating how crucial he was for Leverkusen's attacking patterns. And let's not forget his ball carrying ability. Hincapie ranks in the 95th percentile for progressive carrying distance and 98th for the carries into the final third. Talk about being aggressive with and without the ball. That would perfectly suit Slot's playstyle, wouldn't it? According to Transfer Market, Hincapie is currently valued at €40 million, so what do you think? Is he worth the money? Now, if you want us to make a dedicated video about Hincapie, diving deeper into what he brings to the table, let us know in the comments and we'll gladly oblige. For now, let us move to our second option, whose by the way is Hincapie's international teammate, Willian Pacho. What do you know? Another Ecuadorian player on our list. We all love South American fire, right? The club have been reported to be interested in Willian Pacho since the start of the current transfer window. Here at Panenka, we've already shared a dedicated video on the player, so do make sure you check it out. But for now, let's give you a brief look at what he brings. Pacho quickly cemented himself as a key player for Eintracht Frankfurt last season after making the jump from the Belgian league. At 22 years of age and standing at 6'2", he fits the age and physical profile Liverpool should be looking at. Similar to his fellow countryman Hincapie, Pacho is very aggressive and accurate in his defending, averaging 10.12 successful actions per game in the Bundesliga last season. It's also worth mentioning that Pacho has the ability to make constant jumps from his back line to the midfield to intercept the ball and help his side maintain pressure on the opponents. That's why he ranks in the top percentiles for tackles in the middle third, passes blocked and interceptions. Now, when it comes to his ball playing and passing abilities, Pacho also has what it takes. He averaged an impressive 85.7% success rate on take-ons, showing his ability to escape pressure by carrying the ball despite his lanky figure. Additionally, his passing ability is among the best, as he can consistently find line-breaking passes, helping his team bypass pressure and build out from the back. Pacho is currently valued at around the same price as Hincapie, but there's no doubt that the German club would ask for a little bit more after an impressive season that he's had. In an ideal world, Alessandro Bastoni would be top of our list, but in reality it would take a fortune for Inter Milan to part ways with their 25-year-old defender, who has just extended his contract until 2028. However, football is unpredictable, especially when it comes to transfers, as players sometimes seek new experiences or force moves. That's why we've decided to include Bastoni in our list. The Italian has been one of the best, if not the best player at Inter Milan in recent years. He helped the club reach the 2023 Champions League final and also dominate the last Serie A campaign. But what can we say? The player's stats speak for themselves. When it comes to ball playing ability and passing, Bastoni is undoubtedly the best centre-back in Italy. He ranks first in progressive runs, key passes and passes into the penalty areas, and his expected assists are also impressive. These are winger numbers, which makes sense given how Inzaghi deployed him as a free roaming left-sided centre-back. And the fact that his defending is still not shadowed by his ball playing skills is even more impressive. Here you can see how highly he ranks in both defensive and aerial duels won. Of course, the Reds are aware of this player as both parties were linked a few summers ago. However, this year the situation might be a little bit different, as Bastoni's value has skyrocketed. With his ability and long-term contract, getting him for just 70 million euros would be a bargain, because Inter would undoubtedly ask for much more. But as we said earlier, you never know how the transfer market goes, do you? Now our next pick is also the same mold as Bastoni, and we really can't understand the reason why there's no hype around him, so let's explore who he is. This video is sponsored by Clothing. Clothing is a Liverpool clothing site owned by match-going fans. Each design is limited edition and is perfect to wear on a match day, on the terraces at Anfield, down your local, or cozy in the comfort of your own home. As stated, each design is limited edition, and if a product is showing out of stock, they will not be restocking the item, so if you have your eye on something, grab it fast. Lastly, Clothing wants fellow Reds to be 100% satisfied with their orders, so if there is a reason you're not happy, they will refund you with no questions asked. Head over to clothing.com or down into the link in the description to get all of your Liverpool merchandise. Anyway, let's get back into today's video. Nico Schlotterbeck. There is no doubt that Nico Schlotterbeck is one of the best ball-playing centre-backs around the world right now. A perfect example of his ability is a brave carry he made against PSG in the Champions League semi-finals, was the reason behind Dortmund reaching the final, as his action won the corner that resulted in Matt Hummel's goal in the second leg. It's safe to say that Schlotterbeck is literally a playmaker from deep. The 24-year-old finds passes with his left foot that midfielders can't even see. You often see defenders have great short passing numbers but quite average stats when it comes to long passes. Well, whether it's short, medium or long range passes, Nico ranks high in both the volume and success rate of completing his passing. Of course, this goes without mentioning his frequent key passes into the final third and key passes in general. And as we mentioned earlier, Schlotterbeck's carrying is up there with the best. He's averaged 118.57 yards in progressive carrying distance, putting him in the 91st percentile among other centre-backs in the top 5 European leagues. When it comes to defending, Schlotterbeck excels both on the ground and in the air. Standing at 6'3", he uses his long limbs to put in tackles and intercept the ball on the ground, while also having the physical advantage to win his aerial duels. He ranks highly among centre-backs in the top 5 European leagues for both defensive and aerial duels won. Dortmund made a steal getting Schlotterbeck for just 20 million euros from Borussia Mönchengladbach. What's even more surprising is that the player is currently valued at just 40 million euros. And no, there's nothing wrong with his injury record. We just checked and he only missed 4 games for Dortmund in the last 2 seasons. Let's say that 60 million euros would get the deal done. That's what you call a bargain, especially with all the traits he brings to the table. Now moving on to our final player, all of these players we mentioned here are established and can immediately start as centre-back or as a left-back, providing the needed rotation and cover for Virgil van Dijk. However, our final player on our list is one for the future, as he is only 18 years old. Not only can he play in positions we mentioned earlier, but he can also play as a right fullback, similar to how Arsenal's Timber can play across the back line. Jorrel Hato. Yes, we picked Ajax's exciting prospect, Jorrel Hato. At just 18 years old, Hato has already shown incredible versatility and ability on the ball. He's the shortest player on our list, standing at 6 foot tall, but that's what makes him so good with the ball at his feet. His low center of gravity makes him a nightmare to predict, as he can twist and turn around players, using his technical skills and passing abilities to influence the build-up phase and progress the ball higher up the pitch. Seriously, no matter how good or bad the Eredivisie is, ranking at the top of all centre-backs for accurate and forward passes and offensive duels is nothing short of impressive for a teenager. Not to mention he's second for most dribbles, second for accurate passes into the final third, and fourth for successful attacking options. When it comes to his defensive side, he's somewhat similar to Willian Pacho. Sure, both players have different builds, and Hato is yet to fully develop physically. However, he shares some of the Ecuadorian's aggressiveness. He's a front-footed defender with brilliant anticipation, enabling him to stay one step ahead of opposing attackers and intercept dangerous passes. That's why he ranks in the high percentiles for most tackles in the final third, passes blocked, and interceptions. According to Transfer Market, the player's market value is only 30 million euros. However, Ajax has protected him with a contract that runs until 2028, and reports suggest that the club will ask for at least 100 million euros to part ways with their young gem. Sure, that's a ridiculous amount to pay for a teenager coming from the Eredivisie. However, if Liverpool can manage to get Hato for around half that price, it would be an absolute bargain. Not only would he be a great player, but also a huge investment for the future. Again, this summer is the perfect time to prepare for life after Virgil van Dijk and even getting a left-footed centre-back. The club must not repeat the Guardiola mistake and should start preparing for the future by bringing one of these left-footed centre-backs to play alongside Van Dijk, rotate with him, or even slot in at left-back. So what do you want the club to sign from these options? And apart from Willian Pacho, who we already did a detailed deep dive on, which other player do you want us to analyse next? And while we're at it, if you want a different name in your mind, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Liverpool content. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Take care.